Towtown Records Japan proudly introduces JAMS, the Japan African American Media and Music Society, a division of Towtown Communications Group, Japan.
Tonight on Japan Journal, we take an exclusive investigative dive into a topic rarely discussed in mainstream media: Japan's deep complicity in the NSA's global surveillance operations. The revelations of NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden, detailed in his book Permanent Record, expose how Japan has acted as a silent enabler in the U.S. intelligence apparatus. Through his work as a CIA technologist and NSA contractor, Snowden witnessed firsthand the extensive infrastructure and covert agreements that allowed the U.S. to expand its mass surveillance program under the guise of international security operation and cooperation. We'll explore 12 major aspects of Japan's direct involvement with U.S. intelligence, revealing how the nation has supported the covert collection of global communications, cyber warfare operations, and digital espionage programs. This is a report on the surveillance state, its reach into Japan, and the price paid by the general public. Stay tuned, coming at you right now.
From GNN, the Global News Network, a division of Towtown Communications Company Japan. Japan Journal. With Mal Adams. A Black Buddha Productions joint of Japan. And now, your host, Malcolm W. Adams.
We're back in the studio. You're watching Japan Journal. I'm your host, Mal Adams. Snowden was stationed in Japan as a CIA technologist tasked with developing a large-scale backup system to store vast amounts of intercepted intelligence data. His work involved securing and maintaining infrastructure that allowed the agency to analyze information collected from both foreign targets and ordinary civilians under the justification of national security. Japan's advanced tech infrastructure and its strong military alliance with the U.S. made it an ideal location for such operations. Snowden later revealed that his work in Japan was part of a broader effort to consolidate surveillance data worldwide, enabling the NSA to monitor, store, and retrieve private digital activity on an unprecedented scale. Japan is not just a passive participant in U.S. surveillance, it has been an active collaborator. Documents leaked by Snowden indicate that the NSA and CIA jointly operated intelligence facilities in Japan, embedded within Japanese government and military installations. These operations allowed U.S. intelligence to spy on China, North Korea, and even Japan's own neighbors, including South Korea. Snowden also revealed that economic espionage was a key component of these activities, with Japan assisting the NSA in targeting financial institutions and multinational corporations for strategic intelligence gathering. While working for Dell as an NSA contractor in Japan, Snowden was assigned to help develop a new private cloud system for the agency. This was intended to enhance intelligence sharing across U.S. government agencies, ensuring that classified surveillance data could be accessed in real time. Japan played a key role in facilitating the data transfers necessary for this system, acting as a hub for information flowing between U.S. military bases, intelligence headquarters in Hawaii, and partners in Australia and the UK. This infrastructure gave the NSA real-time access to global internet traffic, phone calls, and financial transactions. Snowden was sent to a classified counterintelligence conference in Japan, where he delivered presentations on Chinese cyber warfare tactics, and U.S. efforts to combat hacking attempts. Ironically, while Japan and the U.S. discussed defending against cyber attacks, Snowden later revealed that the NSA itself had been engaging in hacking operations against China and even its own allies. This included infiltrating corporate networks, intercepting government communications, and exploiting security loopholes for intelligence gathering. Japan is home to several NSA-operated listening posts hidden within Japanese military installations and telecommunications hubs. Key locations include Misawa Air Base in Aomori, Yokota Air Base in Tokyo, and Okinawa's Kadena Air Base. These facilities were strategically positioned to intercept regional communications, including military transmissions from China and North Korea, government conversations in Russia, and financial transactions from Southeast Asia. Snowden's leaks revealed that Japan was one of the most critical nodes in the NSA's global surveillance network. Following Snowden's disclosures, the Japanese government rushed to pass the 2013 State Secrets Act, which significantly restricted the public's access to classified government information. Modeled after U.S. secrecy laws, this act criminalized leaks and threatened journalists with prison time if they published information deemed sensitive by the government. The law was widely criticized as an attack on press freedom, designed to suppress discussions of Japan's intelligence sharing agreements with the NSA. Japan is expanding its domestic surveillance network, incorporating AI-driven monitoring systems, facial recognition, and predictive policing. These programs mirror NSA strategies and are intended to track individuals in real time, anticipate criminal behavior, and automate government oversight. Experts warn that Japan's rapid adoption of mass surveillance technologies risks creating an Orwellian society where privacy is permanently eroded. While Japan is not an official member of the Five Eyes Alliance, US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, leaked NSA documents indicate that it functions as an unofficial partner providing intelligence and receiving access to shared data. By aligning itself with the Five Eyes, Japan has effectively integrated into a global surveillance apparatus, giving foreign intelligence agencies access to Japanese citizens' private data. Japan serves as a major hub for undersea fiber optic cables, which carry the majority of global internet traffic. The NSA has secretly tapped into these cables to monitor global communications. Documents show that provided access to these data highways, allowing U.S. intelligence to intercept emails, phone calls, and encrypted transactions from across Asia. Japan's top tech firms, including Fujitsu, NEC, and Toshiba, have secured contracts with the NSA and U.S. intelligence agencies to develop cybersecurity solutions. This collaboration ensures that American intelligence has deep ties to Japanese digital infrastructure, raising concerns about backdoors and data access by foreign agencies. While Japan is officially a sovereign nation, the continued presence of U.S. military installations on its soil has led to the establishment of a classified digital surveillance grid, a system that functions largely outside of Japanese civilian oversight. This network, operated by the NSA in conjunction with the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, or Indo-PACOM, includes electronic eavesdropping stations, satellite tracking facilities, and covert cyber intelligence units. These elements allow the U.S. military to monitor regional geopolitical activities while also gathering vast amounts of digital intelligence from Japan itself. According to leaked NSA documents, key locations like Misawa Air Base in Aomori, Yokota Air Base near Tokyo, and Kadena Air Base in Okinawa serve as major intelligence hubs, integrating surveillance data from fiber optic cable interceptions, telecommunications monitoring, and cyber intrusion operations. Beyond external threats, this digital surveillance grid also functions within Japan's borders, tracking civilians, political dissidents, and activists, and possibly even journalists such as myself. Protest groups opposing U.S. military expansion in Okinawa, who have long criticized the environmental and social costs of foreign bases, have reported incidents of digital harassment, electronic monitoring, and suspicious cyber intrusions into their communications. These accounts align with Snowden's revelations that the NSA actively monitors individuals deemed potential security risks, even if their actions involve legitimate protest or advocacy. Such tactics raise serious questions about whether the U.S. military is using Japan as a testing ground for digital suppression strategies that could later be deployed globally. Japan's complicity in this system extends to its domestic intelligence agencies, which work in tandem with U.S. authorities to flag, track, and surveil individuals under broad anti-terrorism policies. The 2015 passage of Japan's Security Legislation Act granted the self-defense forces greater leeway in intelligence cooperation with the U.S. military, effectively entrenching Japan's participation in the NSA's broader global surveillance state. However, critics warn that this digital grid, originally justified as a tool against foreign adversaries, is increasingly being used against Japan's own citizens, creating an environment of constant digital scrutiny that threatens civil liberties. The exposure of Japan's deep involvement in NSA surveillance operations has sparked mounting political controversy, raising concerns about the erosion of civil liberties, press freedom, and national sovereignty. While Japan's government has largely remained silent on the extent of its intelligence cooperation with the U.S., leaked documents and investigative reports have intensified public opposition to mass surveillance. The enactment of Japan's 2013 State Secrets Act, widely seen as a response to Snowden's disclosures, has been denounced as an authoritarian measure designed to shield government intelligence activities from public scrutiny. Journalists and whistleblowers who attempt to expose Japan's role in mass data collection risk severe criminal penalties, mirroring the U.S. crackdown on figures like Snowden, Julian Assange, and Chelsea Manning. The political fallout has extended beyond domestic debates, impacting Japan's foreign relations. Regional powers such as China, South Korea, and Russia have expressed concerns about Japan acting as a covert extension of the NSA's global intelligence apparatus, particularly in light of revelations that the U.S. and Japan have conducted economic espionage against key trade partners. In South Korea, media reports have highlighted cases where Japan-assisted NSA surveillance has intercepted diplomatic and corporate communications, raising tensions between the two nations. These revelations have also led to calls from opposition lawmakers within Japan for a formal investigation into whether Japan's intelligence sharing with the NSA violates its constitutional commitments to non-aggression and civil privacy protections. The growing public backlash against Japan's complicity in the surveillance state has fueled new movements advocating for greater transparency, stronger privacy laws, and a reassessment of Japan's intelligence agreements with the U.S. civil rights groups have demanded that Japan repeal or amend its secrecy laws, while digital rights organizations have pushed for greater restrictions on corporate and government surveillance activities. Despite these concerns, Japan's leadership remains deeply embedded in the NSA-led intelligence framework, indicating that the fight for privacy, democracy, and human rights in the digital age is far from over. Edward Snowden's revelations have forever changed the global conversation on surveillance, and Japan is not just an observer. It is an active participant in the largest mass intelligence gathering operation in human history. From covert NSA bases operating within its borders to advance cyber warfare strategies deployed in collaboration with the CIA, Japan has positioned itself as a key ally in the digital surveillance state, often at the cost of its own citizens' privacy and constitutional rights. The question remains, who is watching the watchers? If governments operate in secrecy, shielded by draconian secrecy laws that criminalize reporting and dissent, then the very foundation of democracy is at risk. As journalists, activists, and global citizens, it is our moral responsibility to demand transparency, accountability, and justice. It is up to independent media, digital rights advocates, and engaged citizens to challenge the unchecked power of the NSA, CIA, and Japan's intelligence services. We must hold our governments accountable, defend civil liberties, and ensure that the digital world remains a space for freedom, not oppression. For Japan Journal, I'm Mal Adams. Truth must be told.
From GNN, the Global News Network, a division of Totown Communications Company Japan. Japan Journal. With Mal Adams. A Black Buddha Productions joint of Japan.
Totown Records Japan proudly introduces JAMS, the Japan African American Media and Music Society, a division of Totown Communications Group, Japan.